Welcome to Level Up as we dive into success stories from different aspects of the world. I do apologize if you're tuning in and fasting like I am right now, but today is a special day because we're diving into the world of food, which I love. Today we have a chef who's on a mission to bring the UAE cuisine to the world by creating fusion dishes that combine Western techniques and taste profiles with the Arab world touch, but I'm sure he's going to describe it a lot better. He's garnered success in the kitchen and in the air, as we're about to find out. And it's not just that. Man, I love talking about food. So this is going to be so much fun for the next half an hour to share with you his achievements, his success stories, his challenges, and the first Emirati chef in the world's largest flight catering kitchen, Saud al Matrooshi. Welcome to the show, my man.
Hey, how's it going?
Now that was an intro.
That was an intro. Thank you, appreciate it.
I'm really happy that you're here, and definitely a guest that we're looking to level up and express your journey, which started a while back. So let's dive into it from there. Let's start from the beginning. When did your relationship start with food, and how do you go from that relationship to being a world-class chef?
Okay, so my journey started at a very young age, where the kitchen is the core and the main room in our household. So my father loves to cook.
Okay.
It's not his profession, but when it's time off,
Yeah.
he used to kind of experiment with food or even go with very traditional.
Yeah.
So when I was very young, I picked that up, and I was like, oh, nice, he's creating something. And
Yeah.
maybe I should try to do the same.
What's your memory when you think of
So,
Dad's food?
like my memory is waking up in the morning,
Yeah.
and that smell of like fresh breakfast bread and all this,
I love this episode already. He just touched home right now.
Yeah.
For me.
So I was like, waking up,
Yeah.
feeling that, someone's taking care of you,
Yeah.
feeding you very nice food, food that is very comfort.
Yeah.
Goes with the cozy atmosphere.
God,
of
do you see the
house,
way he did that with his hand? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay.
Yeah. So, the passion started from there, and I started, experimenting at home,
Yeah.
at my friend's place.
Well, what age are we talking at that time?
When I started to physically cook, I was like about 12.
12 years old.
12 years old when I used to be
Mashallah,
like,
okay.
okay, I'm breakfast on me today, I'm gonna start like asking the help at home to like chop up some stuff, because I was not very skilled with chopping up.
As a 12-year-old, I don't blame you.
But I would go and mix it all up, add the spices, finish it off, and serve it to my parents, explaining what's on the plate.
Yeah, you would explain it as well as a 12-year-old.
Yes, I'm doing this shakshuka for an example, but I added oregano, I added this herb, I added this just to give it, this flavor.
Yeah.
So, it started.
I think you're probably the best person to ask about this. When I've heard this several times, one of my best friends is a chef, and he's always saying things like, "I made this with love."
Yeah.
Does that really exist?
To be honest with you, and this is very real.
Yeah.
When it comes to your emotions.
Yeah.
Because it's for me, it's an ingredient, and it's a key ingredient.
I love that.
If you're upset,
Yeah.
and you're cooking, you're not gonna finish off the dish as much as and the flavor of the dish as much as if you're happy, if you're feeling good, if you're doing it out of joy, if you're doing it to please someone, if you're doing it to share.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different. It's magic.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was thinking when you were saying that. And that's why we mentioned the term relationship in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because it is a relationship that you build with food, but it's also your expression.
Yes.
Is it a form of escapism as well?
No, for me, it's a stress relief. So, recently, when being an executive chef at one of the world's biggest kitchens, or the world's biggest air flight kitchen in the world, took me out of this cooking and, cooking every day. It's more looking after the production. So it's more management now than back then when I used to be on the shop floor. So I really miss it. So sometimes I'll be coming back from after like a very busy day at work, and I'll be like, let me cook something for the kids. you
Yeah.
know, just like a stress relief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so interesting. Before we dive into the world's largest airline as well and food catering that you're doing for them, what is your aha moment? You know when you just go, man, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. When did you have that, seeing that you started at 12?
Yeah. Well, I had a couple of aha moments. At the beginning of my career, it was when I shifted career from doing marketing, shifting to F&B. I cooked one of the managers who had doubts that I have like good cooking skills. I was like, let me cook you something. You're staying late at work and I'm here, And he's like, yeah, let's see what you do. And then I cooked him something very nice. And he loved it, and he decided on spot that I should shift to F&B. And I was like, that's an aha moment. I am good at what I do. I should believe in myself. And this is not only talking about the culinary world. If you have an aha moment and you know you're good in something, how do you know you're good in something? If you put minimum effort and it's amazing. And you're like, really, people suffer and work hard to do this, but I did it, quite natural. That's an aha moment. That's when you know you're good. Keep going.
You mentioned Emirates Airlines.
Yes.
Mentioned that transition from marketing to F&B. How do you feel now looking back at that?
This is what I say every time. I wake up every day and I'm living my dream. Because one day I was like, I hope my food goes around the world.
Yeah.
I was like, back then I was thinking maybe I would open like an international chain.
Yeah.
And it goes viral and goes around the world. But I am at my place in Dubai, and my food travels around the world. So that's a dream that came true.
Meet our world-class team. I look at that, and I think like,
yeah, different nationalities, different cuisines.
But it also is a reflection of your style as well.
Yes.
How important is travel, education, visualization in making this happen?
Yeah. Well, let me put it that way. Recently I went online and I see that a lot of people, especially on social media, has the word chef before their names. And then you're like, really? Where did you go? Where did you study? What did you do? What did you create?
Yeah.
It is a combination. First of all, traveling is a school. When you travel, you pick up a lot of things. You pick up habits, you pick up skills, you pick up ideas. All of these are learnings. Another thing is the culinary school. It's very important because it guides you. It's not only about the food, it's about the food safety, it's about the food hygiene, it's about all the skills that you learn, forecasting about the food, what you're going to do, what are you going to present. My style of cooking is fusion. So even if it's an Arabic fusion, or it's an Arabic Western fusion, or it's an Arabic Asian fusion, I always try to find that balance, that line that makes these two cuisines merge.
He's an artist. You see his hands.
Well, saying that.
You're making me hungry.
Because we chefs are artists. Because you have a person that can sculpt you a nice, sculpture. You have a person that can paint. We chefs use our canvas. Our canvas is the dish. So we present our food.
Yes.
On the dish. So it is an art.
Talk to me about culinary school. When did you go to that, and how has that revolutionized your palate?
Yeah. So when I started, I didn't start with culinary school. I started as a steward.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my training.
On Emirates.
No, not on Emirates. This is 15 years ago. We're talking about the Dubai Golf Creek Club.
Right. Okay.
There is where my beginning was.
Yes.
And I was put into a training from scratch to understand the culinary world, not only the cooking world or the skills of cooking, no, the culinary world. And when we say the culinary word, it's A to Z. It's stewarding. It's learning your detergents, learning the temperature of water, learning how the dishes should be cleaned, learning how to clean your kitchen after it's done, what to use. All these details that you have to learn.
Yeah.
This is the essence of your gaining your skills, gaining your, being professional, knowing what's going around you in the kitchen. That's how you become an executive chef. You don't become an executive chef because you're good at cooking. But there's a lot of good cooks that can cook a very nice meal.
Yeah.
It's the management that these skills that you need to learn to become a successful executive chef.
I want you to kind of educate us on the difference between a chef and a cook.
Yeah, well, a chef is a certified professional, trained person who can cook you a good meal and introduce this meal, knowing the nutrients, facts of this meal, knowing the temperature used, using different new equipments in cooking, knowing how to use all the new technologies when it comes to cooking, and is very skillful. A cook can be anyone that can prepare a very nice meal at home, in a nice small restaurant, doing traditional food. A cook would cook you more like a traditional or comfort food, with something that you pick up, like grab and go, or like a nice soup, or like a nice rice dish, or pasta, whatever. But it's what he does out of experience. This is what I do. Like, those family restaurants, all this.
Yeah.
They didn't go to culinary school. They just saw what their grandfather did, the recipe of their grandma. They followed it, and it's a nice place, a nice eatery to go and eat.
Yeah.
They're cooks.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I know you probably get asked this a million times, so I'm going to make it 1,000,001. What's your dish?
My dish?
Yes.
Well, I'll
Or, actually, let me split that in two. Firstly, what did you cook your manager that day?
Yeah.
And secondly, what would you cook for us today that would be your dish for iftar? That's a great question.
Okay. Well, let me let me answer your questions. The manager, I cooked him, so I asked him professionally, what would you like to eat? What protein do you prefer?
Okay.
And I cooked him a nice, I remember, minestrone soup.
Okay.
A nice panini with some...
Is he Italian?
No, he's not. He's local, by the way.
Okay.
He's local, but he studied abroad, so I wanted to shock him.
Okay.
A nice panini with oregano butter on top with some carpaccio. And for the final dish was shrimp.
You're making me
shrimp risotto.
Now I know why you wanted to bring him in after iftar. I get it.
Yeah, talking about food and fasting.
Yeah, go on. No, I love it. Okay.
That was the three dishes. So it was like a soup, and then an appetizer, and then the main dish, which was the shrimp risotto.
Yeah.
My favorite cuisine is the Thai cuisine.
Okay.
So I went to Thailand, and I've basically also gained knowledge and went to a culinary school over there. What I love about the Thai cuisine is the freshness of ingredients.
Locally sourced?
Everything is not only locally sourced in Thailand, it's by radius.
Okay.
So they don't go like away from a 10 kilometer radius. In Thailand, there's water everywhere.
That's
so
next level.
Whatever they find, the crops they grow, all this. Not only about this, even there's freshness in preparing the food. So for us, like Arabs, we can, store our spices for a long time. And not saying that's wrong. This is our culture, and this is where we grew up. It's desert. We cannot preserve a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But for them, in Thailand, everything is very fresh. It rains the whole time.
Yeah.
Crops are everywhere. Animals are everywhere. You can go fishing anytime.
Yeah.
So even when it comes to preparing the spices, it's freshly ground before using it to cook. with. So that amazed me, the freshness of every ingredient, every single ingredient. Like the fish would be like caught 2 hours before cooking,
Okay.
Crops were like, maybe 1 day old, just harvested yesterday.
When you talk, and then obviously when these cameras look at you, when you talk, your eyes light up.
That's my passion.
From passion, from passion.
Yeah.
Is it hard being you, in the sense that when you go sit down on someone else's table, and the way you express things and the way your eyes light up when you talk about it, is it hard being you when you're tasting something or sampling something, because they're always trying to impress you, or because you can't get away with not knowing you're a chef? It's almost impossible. I've known you for 15 minutes, 46 seconds. And I can tell you now, just by the passion that you're talking about it, I know. Is it hard for you to be just a regularly placed person sitting at a table enjoying a meal without them trying to impress you?
Yes and no, because sometimes, I'd go to. I'm a very simple guy when it comes to food. For me, if you ask me what would you like to eat, I'd be like, white rice and grilled fish.
God, you gotta stop. You gotta stop there, though, because
yeah,
they're not simple. That my best friend says the same thing. You say, I'm a simple guy. I just like simple food. The way you do the basic rice and the basic fish is what we consider the
gourmet.
You even mentioned oregano and rosemary and all these things, which are touches that differentiate the two.
Yeah.
So it's still hard to impress you.
It's not, to be honest with you, because I understand where the dish is coming from.
Okay.
If I'm at your house and you make me a nice soup and you make me like a simple dish of pasta, I understand. And you're trying to impress me, you don't have to, We're just enjoying food, enjoying ourselves, enjoying the company of the atmosphere, of the friends around, So I'm not going to pay attention to the food, I'm going to pay attention to the people around.
What an answer.
If it's in competition, yes, you have to
I'm in
impress
trouble.
Me, You have to impress me.
I'm in trouble.
I'm going to judge you.
Is the food industry now more complicated than ever with the inclusion of veganism, vegetarian, pescatarian, all these things? Or is it still a way to look at things to simplify it from your position?
Well, let me tell you my challenge. So the production of our kitchen is 255,000 meals a day. The food flies around the world. Everyone, and plus we're in Dubai. Everyone is in Dubai. Dubai is international. Dubai is like a melting pot where everyone lives here. I think the people now have a more educated palate. That's the challenge. It's not about the offerings.
Okay.
People have an educated palate now. They know what they want. They know what they want to eat. They know what they want to expect. The challenge is satisfying everyone on board. That's the challenge, because you have different nationalities. You have different requests. It's not like people walking to a restaurant. They know what they expect in the restaurant. They know what they want in this. I went to this restaurant because I want pasta. I know I'm going to be served nice pasta here. I went there because I know I'm going to serve a nice shawarma. But people on board, based on their destinations, this is where our skills as chefs come when it comes to menu development. So I developed the menu based on the demographics of the passengers. And then we be like, okay, at this time of the year, let's have these offerings and hope that they enjoy it, So that's the challenge.
That's so interesting. Before I step away from the chef, I got to ask you one more question regarding that. If a normal person like me wanted to taste your food, where do I go?
On board. You have to fly Emirates.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to fly Emirates, but will I specifically know that dish was designed by you on any airline, on any flight?
Yeah, we're a team of chefs that work on that. And when it comes to distributing each other's offerings, we are very careful. It's very seasonal, and it's very well thought of, again, as per the data that we get from the passengers' service center. So it's yes, you. What's happening now is we're trying to offer not only the Emirati but the Arabic offering more. So we're trying to be like, listen, world, you know, this is what the Arabic cuisine looks like. This is our offerings, and we're trying just to have a different style of dishing them, you know, with garnishing them, dishing them, making them look, you know, more appealable.
Now I want to step away from the chef and I want to know more about the person. How do you reset? How do you get away from everything mentally?
Yeah.
What do you do?
So after a very busy day of you know, being at work, looking after all these, you know, dispatching, looking after all the menu development, looking after all these tasting, because we have to taste the food based on the reports that we get daily, I hit the gym. So the gym is my zone, where the getaway zone, you know, where I go and focus on lifting weights, you know, just cardio, just sweating it off, you know.
Yeah. What do you do for cardio?
So my daily routine is cardio in the morning.
Yeah.
And if I don't do it like on a like treadmill or something, I do it at work, because the size of our kitchens is like an 11 football field. So I walk around, you know, from one place to another.
You see him storming up and down.
It's basically, sometimes, you know, I have a meeting which is like 15 minutes away, and I have to walk all the way over there, you know, and then walk back to the. So that's another thing of doing cardio at work. After work, I hit the gym, so another 20 minutes of cardio.
Right.
Lifting weights. After that's done, another 20 minutes of cardio. So I'm trying to be careful and watch out, because in the food industry, you know, with all this food around you, eating a lot.
You seem to me, because of you love what you do, that you're always in touch with your passion, your work. What are some of the unique challenges when you're being a person on the ground and 30,000 feet up in the air, your food's being cooked around to thousands and thousands of people? How do you establish that, and what goes through your mind when your mental health when it comes down to these things?
You cannot satisfy everyone, right? So in the past time, when I started, you know, creating new dishes, and people were like, no, that's not nice, you know, maybe you should replace that. And I used to be like, okay, what's wrong, you know? But I came, you know, after all these years, I came to an understanding of, you cannot satisfy everyone. Just do what you do best, and eventually, you know, people will
come around,
accept it, and come around and understand what's the aspects of this dish, why are we offering it. The other challenge is our food, especially like the air flight food, is different than the restaurant food. Restaurant food is, you know, from A to B, you know, from the kitchen to the table. For us, it goes through a different, you know, our food travels actually before it gets to the aircraft. So the challenge of serving, you know, what you expect as a passenger on your plate, that's a challenge. So now I can see that people understand our challenge of offerings, because they'll be like, why don't we have French fries on board? Why don't we have like fried chicken on board? Why don't we have? And then explaining to them all the systems that we do and all the methods that we use for cooking, and the reheating on board is a challenge too. So and then they will be like, okay, you know, we understand now.
Yeah. If you could go back and speak to yourself as a younger chef, what would you go back and tell yourself?
To be honest with you, I would go to more culinary schools, like internationally, yes, and because there is a lot of chefs that I wanted to meet that passed away, unfortunately, and I wanted to gain some experience from them. Not only, and I'm not talking only about food. I'm talking about food and culture, because food is culture. You know,
absolutely.
So, like the person that I really would have liked to meet was Anthony Bourdain, you know, because this guy understood what was happening around the world, and he wanted to introduce all the points that he wanted to introduce using food as as an entry.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another thing that I would like to tap on is culture and food.
Mm. From all the incredible things that you've achieved, what is your next challenge?
My next challenge is, and I kind of started something, but I wanted to take more time to focus on, is sending food to the space.
Wow. We just had an exclusive there.
Yes.
I was talking to him about cooking something for us here. I have to go to space now?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So this would be another project that we will work on, and we will dedicate a special kitchen for that. I am working very hard on getting that done. And inshallah in the future, you know, inshallah, we collaborate again with Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid's Space Center and work on something again, you know, to make it possible.
I have to say, Chef Saud, man, a true testament to the term level up is your journey and where it's going as well. Because before obviously meeting you today, we had our research, we had a look, and we saw how we're going to cram all this in 30 minutes, man, you know? But just the things that you've given us has been like fuel to the soul, man, because it's refreshing to see someone like yourself who's not just leveling up, but striving to do more, and not even on planet Earth, which is incredible. I just want to thank you for coming on the show. I think it was really good. I can't wait for iftar now. And to be very honest with you, hand on heart, you have changed my perception on the Emirates cooking for sure, because now I have a better understanding. I think that's what it's down to for a lot of the listeners as well. It's education of how much goes behind it until it touches your plate.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that, because I think I'm very, very grateful already for what you guys do, but I'm now super mindful about it as well. And I appreciate you coming on the show. It's been fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
And it was outstanding. One of the most tastiest episodes we've had on the show. Thank you very much, Chef Saud al Matrooshi. Thank you very much. That was another episode with Level Up and Omar Al-Duri here on Pulse 95.